Okay, so today we're going to be creating an autumn cottage today, and we're going to get basically the background ready to go. So we're going to cut the paper, we're going to add the trees, we're going to have the leaves on the trees, some of them on the ground. Next week we'll add the house and then do some cutting and gluing. Okay, so we're getting everything ready. So you're going to be needing your paper, we're going to be using oil pastels, and then we're going to be using these colors for the actual leaves, and then of course a brush. So our I can statement today is today we'll learn about balance so that I can create a woodland scene with a tree on each side to make it appear almost symmetrical. So I want a tree on either side. When I say almost symmetrical, it doesn't have to be exact mirror image, okay? Just as long as there's a tree on both sides. So the first thing you're gonna do, write your name, class code. Then you're gonna take your paper and you're gonna fold it in half like a book, okay? So fold it in half like a book, and then you're gonna take a pencil, and from here, you're gonna draw a line, a kind of a curved line from there downward, okay? So mine's, at least 4 fingers from the top. Do not go past the halfway point on your paper, okay? Once you have that, with the paper still folded, you're gonna cut it out. And if you need to check yourself to make sure you're cutting it the right direction, the highest part should be where the fold is, okay? And I'll have some templates too if you need those. And then I'm gonna cut that out. And I'm gonna open it up. And I like the way that looks. If you want this to be a little more curved, you certainly can make it a little more subtle by just trimming off a little bit, and that's fine too, okay? And then we wanna flatten it out because we don't wanna keep that fold there forever. So then after I have that part, I'm gonna add my trees. So I would suggest drawing first with pencil. So we're gonna be creating what's a Y tree. So I'm gonna draw the Y, the initial Y on both sides. And for demonstration purposes, I'm actually gonna move straight to my oil pastel so you can see what I'm drawing because you can't see that very well. So I'm gonna draw just the letter Y on either side. Notice it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, but it's about 2-3 fingers width from the bottom. So I've got my Y here, and then to make Y trees, you just keep making more Ys. So here's one part of the Y, then there. Then you can have a little Y here, a little Y there. So it's just by making Ys after Ys after Ys. And you can even add ones like that. You can even have ones coming down here. You could have a little Y there, little Y there, and you can keep branching it off more and more, whatever you find is interesting. Now, what I like to do too, is I like to make my base here a little bit wider. Then it kind of gives it more of a tree-like form. Because in a real tree, the main trunk of the tree is going to be a lot wider than the branches, and I feel like that helps a lot. Then I'll do the same thing here. So remember, I said symmetrical, but it doesn't have to be like a perfect symmetry. So I know I started off with that, and then on this one I had a little Y here, I had a little Y here, this one had a Y, this had a Y, then I had a little Ys coming from there, and then once again, kind of thicken up my trunk. And if you have that yellow still on your oil pastel, I would definitely hold on to that part so that your fingers stay pretty clean. Okay, so I've got 2 trees on either side. The house is gonna go in the middle, so you don't need anything in there. Then you're gonna get the paint, and you'll have red, orange, yellow, and white, and then your brush. I like a medium-sized small brush is fine too. And we're gonna be doing what's called double loading. Okay, so that means 2 or 3 colors at a time. So we're not gonna be rinsing things off. These colors all look beautiful together. So let's say this one I'm gonna have yellow, orange, and maybe a little bit of white. And I'm gonna just take this and just do dots. So you'll be able to see like all the colors on there that I picked up with my brush. So there, and I'm just doing little dots. There, I can kind of move my brush around. I can have this one, the red and orange. And if you get a little bit on the table, that's fine. I'm hoping you guys use those mats. I didn't grab one. So you need to have 2 to 3 colors added to your brush. And they don't have to technically touch the branches, okay? You can just have them floating off and around that area, okay? And then I've got my trees. I'll probably add some more of my trees, but then I can have, maybe this one's gonna be yellow and red, and it has some leaves that have fallen on the ground. Some orange and yellow. I like that orange and yellow together, it's pretty. And I'm just gonna add this. You don't have to fill it completely in, but you want it to be pretty filled, okay? So it doesn't have to be like completely covered with paint, but it should definitely be covering most of the ground, okay? So if you have oops, I didn't double load that one. There we go. So if you can place like your whole thumb in an area, that means you need some more paint. I was gonna do those three. And the yellow is washable paint, so it's the thinnest paint, but it's still working fine. So I can almost be done with mine. And I'm going to, let's see, I can not place my thumb in any area. I'm gonna add some more leaves to my trees to really make it full. I can have some leaves dropping. So it takes a little time, don't rush. We're not gonna start the house today. Oops, I didn't double load that. Sorry, I need at least 2 to 3 colors. So then I have some leaves falling here. And then this, once it's finished, I'm gonna take this very carefully over to the drying rack so it can dry, and then I'll clean out my brush and put it bristles up back in the container. And then next week, we'll just focus on the cleaner materials. So today, we are gonna make sure we're balancing the trees. So you need a tree on either side. They're gonna be those Y trees. So you start off with the letter Y and just keep adding Ys. So you have small, medium, and large Ys. And then when you do the double loading, you need 2 or 3 colors loaded on your brush. And then you're gonna add little dabs, little dots of those colors on there, however you want it to look. And you can have them coming down from the sky and then touching the paper. And then when you're finished, it goes onto the drying rack.